Welcome back, folks. You're watching Sport Federation TV. It's fantastic to have you along. And of course, we keep talking sport in the province. Well, if you have been paying any attention, you know that karate is very busy. And in fact, I've had quite a lot of tournaments over the last year or so. Our provincial athletes traveling around the country to go and compete. Troy Futter is, of course, national champion, involved with coaching at Western Cape. Troy, welcome back.
Hi JP, thank you for having me.
Did I sum it up right? You guys have been busy?
Yeah, so I think the last 2 years we've been very, very busy with the competitions, and it's almost a national sort of event every 2 months. So KSA has really been on the ball. They've really been pushing for us to get some ring time, and it's been great.
When you mean ring time, you obviously mean, do you mean on the mat?
Yeah, so on the tatami, the mat that we compete, just some fighting time, some kata time for the other athletes as well.
Let's just start a little bit at the beginning. When we're talking about Karate South Africa, you're talking about Karate Western Cape, and of course all the various regions and districts that you're in. How are we doing from a karate point of view? I mean, we saw, of course, karate was last year, or in the 2020 Olympics. A lot of attention for karate on a world level.
Yeah, so look, karate this year, it's grown quite a bit. We had our children's nationals as well as our senior nationals 2 weeks ago, and the leap from the numbers last year to this year has been quite big, and I think the karate being in the Olympics has created quite a lot of excitement for a lot of the athletes, hoping that it will stay in the Olympics. Only time will tell. So everyone's just still pushing, hoping that we'll be in the next Olympics. And there's a lot of hope for our youth as well as some of our senior athletes for that.
You're involved at the highest level in karate. When you watch the karate on at the Olympics, and you obviously see it on TV, was there any learnings for you guys? Were you looking at it and going, "Oh, well, there's some good tips"?
Yeah. So they used a lot of video review, and the nice thing was it was the first time we could actually see the video review from the referee's point. So they would actually speak about the technique, how it would score, what should score properly. And even though we've been doing it all our lives, it's nice to see that sometimes we're actually a bit off. We're throwing the technique a little bit too long or a little bit too short. So for that, the learning there was amazing. Also, just to be able to sit at home, our sport on DStv was amazing. Yeah. It really was amazing, and the level of competitors was incredible. So yeah, there's always learning. Some of those fighters, they had a different style, and I mean, guys were winning rounds that people weren't really that sure about. So it really brought out the best of karate in the world.
For you guys, karate starts at a different level before it gets to that. I mean, for you, it starts in a dojo with instructors and a lot of tradition before it gets to competition level. How are we doing from at a club level? Are we seeing people signing up? I mean, over the years, it's what we always seen is moms and dads sending their kids to join karate schools to learn self-discipline, to stay fit, to have a bit of understanding of self-defense.
Yeah, look, as I say, with COVID, the sign-up was a little bit less. Well, actually, quite a lot less. I mean, during COVID times, I think a lot of people were scared to bring their children to karate. It was just so much uncertainty, and the dojos are picking up all over the Western Cape. Numbers are improving hugely. We actually have a development competition this weekend that's just there for the white to green belt, sorry. So yeah, the numbers of the new students are quite big at the moment.
So that event is, of course, at the Wynberg Sports Base this coming weekend on Saturday. When you talk about development, when you're talking about white belts to green belts, what does that mean for a kid? Does that mean it's their first competition in some cases?
Yeah, so a lot of the time it is a kid's first competition, and we're trying to give them a bit of interprovincial exposure as their first competition. So Gauteng is coming down for this event, um, and a lot of the kids. I mean, we one of my students. I'm actually organizing some of my kit for him to wear. So a lot of these guys don't have the kits. It's a competition. They're keen, and we're just making it happen for them. And it's not Gauteng is coming down, so there's a bit of that Cape Gauteng rivalry, which is going to be a lot of fun as well.
And how are you guys doing from a sort of a competitive perspective? We know that you've had interprovincial championships. We know karate is active across all the various provinces. Like you say, Gauteng is coming down this weekend, but you've also got KZN that is very strong, and some of the other provinces. How are we doing as Western Cape karate?
Western Cape, we do well. We are a very strong province. Like you said, KZN in the last about 4 years has really picked up. So they're really a strong competitor. Our national events that we had 2 weeks ago, which was the under 21 seniors and veterans and masters, um, Western Cape we came second in the medals. So Gauteng won that event. It was in Gauteng, so a little bit easier for them to travel. But Gauteng did win that event, and Western Cape we came second. And along with the children's nationals as well, I think we also placed second there as well. So Western Cape we really are a strong team. We're always in the top. We're always getting a lot of gold medals. We're always placing. So even in our national team now, Western Cape is very strong.
What do the kids do, Troy, from a high performance point of view? I mean, we've spoken about the fact that at a club level, dojo level, it's much more elementary. It's kids joining, learning the traditions, and quite often the Japanese traditions of karate.
Yeah.
But the shift from being a dojo student to essentially where you are at, where the level you're talking about, the shift to a high performance type of athlete, how does that differ from a training perspective?
It is. Look, karate is karate. The basics are always important. So with good, strong traditional basics comes good, strong sports karate, and that's with kata or kumite.
Yes.
So the transition, there is quite a change. Our movement is very different. It's a lot more plyometric, whereas the traditional is a bit more static. But the base of traditional karate is the main source of good sports karate. I mean, every world champion in the world has a very, very good, strong traditional background, and you will often see them practicing their basics. And I think that's something we forget as an athlete. We forget to do our basics. We forget to go back. So there is a change, but I think the one supplements the other so much. And yeah, we often have to go back to the traditional because the sports side is lacking a bit when it comes to the focus and just the real crispness of a technique. So we've got to go back to our basics, start again, just to refresh.
And when you go to these sports tournaments, or what you refer to as sport karate, do the athletes also have to portray a certain amount of discipline in terms of respect and traditions? It's not just about getting there and having a fight. You still have quite a lot of culture and tradition even in the sport karate.
So we don't often call senior instructors by their first name, so you don't hear that quite a lot at our sporting events. Our Karate South Africa exec they're all instructors, they're all karateka, so we always bow to them, we respect them, and I mean that goes with our coaches as well. Kids, they struggle to make that change from instructor to coach, so they don't call you Coach Troy, they'll say Sensei Troy. It's the same when we talk to our technical convener of KSA, it's Xian. So for us, the respect is still very much there. There's always that hierarchy in karate, and we'll never lose it. And that's why I love karate as well, for the discipline. So even on these trips, the discipline is very strong. So yeah.
And of course, if moms or dads want to send their kids to a dojo in the Western Cape, I'm assuming they can find you guys on Facebook. You've of course got a website, and dojos and clubs are open.
Yes, we're very much open. The Western Cape Facebook page is quite active, so they're often posting on new athletes and new instructors, and we're all over the Western Cape. Dojos are open, dojos are strong, competition is good. So yeah, we're open, we're ready.
Where's your dojo, Troy?
I'm based in Tableview.
Tableview. Do we have a name? Is it a style?
Yes, my dojo is TFKA, so it's the Troy Futter Karate Academy. And yeah, it's I like to keep it as a karate dojo as well as a little small fitness studio, and we've also got a bar studio now, which is Bar Body. So we like to keep it. We like to mix it up. We like to keep it modern.
Troy, we'll leave it at that. Congratulations on the activity from a Western Cape Karate point of view. Like so many of the other sport codes, we know what a hard time it's been over the last 2 years. And we also know how hard you guys have been working behind the scenes to keep the sport active. And best of luck for the development tournament at Wynberg this coming weekend.
Thank you, JP, so much. And spectators are welcome if they get a chance to and want to pop in.
Great stuff. There we go, folks. Troy Futter, of course, high performance coach, national champion. He's got athletes and kids representing Western Cape, competing at a national level. Western Cape Karate itself doing fantastic, as you heard. And this coming weekend, they'll be showing their stuff at the Wynberg Sports Base. Of course, Gauteng coming down. So why don't you, if you have time, go down and check out that development tournament at the Wynberg Sports Complex. And have a look out for Western Cape Karate if you want to send your kids to join a local dojo. And as he said, get on the tatami and do some sport with them, which of course includes the likes of the various traditions and self-discipline and self-respect, and of course fitness, self-defense. Folks, that's a wrap from us then this evening. We look forward to you having a fantastic sporting weekend, and we say to all of you, stay safe out there. We'll see you again next week, same time, same place. Bye-bye.